I am making this video to do something that I despise doing more than anything in the entire world, admitting that I was wrong, getting proven wrong. These are, top two things I hate the most. We're doing both of them in this video because for time and time again, I have openly criticized ALS for their less than desirable quality, their questionable models, their unsatisfying UI, their monotonous gameplay loop. You name it, I have probably complained about it because for a good chunk of time, I was actually an avid ALS player. Albeit, if you look at my current account right now, you'd think that I started playing since release and never touched it. I really did enjoy this game, but the more that I played it, the more issues that I saw with the game. Issues that I saw never being fixed and instead being ignored in the favor of adding another 10,000 Robux bundle for you to sink your money into. And this frustration would later culminate into the two videos that I made about the game. The first one is called Fuck ALS, the second one is called Anime Last Legs, neither of which were too positive. You could definitely say I was a bit of an ALS hater for a good amount of time, but after a while, I haven't touched the game in months. I believe the last video that I made on the game was, 3 months ago? I checked back on the game right now because I hear a lot of people telling me that the game exponentially improved, looks a lot better, plays a lot better, feels a lot better, has better UI, more quality of life. And when people told me this, it's kind of like that meme of the dude that's zoomed into his ear and it's just a brick wall surrounding his earlobe. That's how I felt when people told me that ALS was actually having some sort of quality. It didn't even go in one ear. It was blocked. I just ignored it. I refused to believe that ALS would ever be anything more than a very low quality damage simulator. And to a degree, still somewhat is. The damage simulator part is, here to stay. I don't think that's ever going to change. But I don't think you can call it low quality anymore. I really, really don't. And I gathered some background footage of the game in present day and the game back when I quit playing it. And I just want to compare the two. So here's me wandering around the new ALS lobby, and I had about 5 minutes of footage because it was literally me taking in the lobby for the first time ever. And I'm not going to play all 5 minutes, but you'll see me summon right here. They added a really nice quality of life feature where you can just skip the dog shit traits that no one cares about, like Shinigami, Cosmic, Diamond, Vulture. That is an incredible change. And this is one of the many quality of life changes that we've received in the game. This is another cool one. There's little animations for when you get like Overlord, Glitched, Avatar. I think Entrepreneur has one too. And that's super duper cool. And if you look around the lobby and you compare it to just the UI. Look at this fucking UI. This actually looks nice. This looks professional. This is not the ALS that I once knew. And I am pleasantly surprised. Very, very pleasantly surprised. But I'm looking around the lobby. I'm checking out the raids. I didn't even know what Boss Rush was. It seems like they're adding a lot more avenues to grind out the currency, especially the mythic shards and the legendary shards, which back when I stopped playing were a real big pain in the ass to obtain, because really the only way that you could get them was if you grinded out some portals that weren't obtainable anymore, so you had to go out of your way to go into someone else's portal to start grinding it yourself, or you could get it from the shop. But although it seems like these were two very easy and reliable ways to farm mythic shards, you have to keep in mind the average godly, or not even godly, the average newer unit that would drop would require you to spend a good chunk of your mythic shards very, very quickly. The inflation in this game was absolutely crazy. But I'm seeing that there's a lot more ways to grind out materials in response to how the demands for evolving units are rising as well. And that makes me happy. It really seems like this game is here for the long run. In fact, their player count has always surprised me. Even when I thought the game was quote-unquote bad, their player count was still solid. And even now, they still have a very healthy 25k CCU, which usually goes up on the weekends because, more people play on the weekends. But this game is consistency personified. Well, we'll say that now, right? Back then, I didn't really like it, but this game updates consistently. They always have new content. I'm pretty sure, I don't know if they update weekly or bi-weekly. I'm not too caught up on the schedule of this game. all I know, the only content creator for ALS that I watch is Radinal, and you know, I always check in on his videos just to see how the game's doing. And like, deadass, it's a time lapse, bro. If you compare the shits, like his videos from a couple months ago to current day, it looks like he's playing a completely different game. And that is just so insane to me. And I mean completely different for the better. It looks a lot better. It seems a lot smoother. It genuinely makes me want to play the game. A feeling that was completely foreign to me about ALS for a long time. A feeling that I thought I would never experience ever again. Sorry if the quality's a little off. I had to screen record my own YouTube video because I couldn't be asked to download it. It was way longer than I wanted it to be. But this is me walking around the old lobby, and it's just like, I ripped this straight out of my, I think it was like Fuck ALS, where I was just complaining about the Dio grind, which to this day was just such a fucking joke. Oh my god. The people disagreeing with me in the comments, like, they genuinely reminded me of that one Patrick gif where he's just drooling. He's like, ooh. Like, bro, there were people telling me you had more than enough time to grind, the grind was reasonable, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, you're right. It was definitely my fault, and I did have more than enough time to obtain the unit. But I still will not concede the notion the godly grind for Dio over Heaven was just absolute ass. Like, no one had fun doing this. Having to use time stop 200 times, I want you to give me a single soul that looked at that step with a smile on their face, ready to sit in an infinite mode with an auto clicker to use an ability 200 times. Like, who wanted to do that? But I'm getting off topic. If you look at the UI, if you look at the map, I didn't actually talk to any of the NPCs because it was just like me rambling in this video, but you can notice a very clear, stark quality difference between this lobby and the new one. And, you know, I just wanted to use that as evidence to prove my point. This game has utterly and completely proved me wrong. I never could have predicted that ALS would have the longevity that it does. I really couldn't have. Words can't describe how surprised I am that this game has not only improved for the better by a significant margin, but also maintained its player count and even seen rises in player count since its release. This game's been out for a hot minute, way longer than ALS. Not ALS. ALS has been out way longer than Enemy Vanguards, way longer than Enemy Reborn, way longer than insert new tower defense game. I know they outlived a lot of like the really shitter ones, like Anime Odyssey. Oh brother, don't even get me started on that. That was over before it began. And Anime Realms, again, another game that met a very sad fate. You know, I talked to Luck back when he owned the game, and I thought, okay, the game has some potential. And then it got bought out by the other dude who, you know, that's a whole thing. I already made enough videos on that, but if you know, you know. Not a good owner. Both of those games were doomed to fail back when Anime Adventures announced that they would re-release. But I'm getting off topic. What I'm trying to say is Anime Last Stand has been around for a while, and they have consistently held a decent player count, consistently updated, and consistently improved. You know, color me surprised. I never in my life thought I'd see the day where I'd be tempted to play ALS again. Just that 5 minute or the few minutes that I took of walking around the lobby genuinely made me want to play the game again. A feeling that I have not felt for tower defense games or ALS in a very long time. The only games that the only tower defense game that I'm motivated to play is Vanguards. And besides that, I don't have a ton of fun playing any other tower defense games. I guess you could say maybe Anime World Tower Defense. Not because I'm like very high level or endgame in it, but I do see a lot of people ask for that. And, you know, I'm gonna play it eventually just to please the commenters, because obviously, you know, if you make tower defense videos, why not make a video on a tower defense game everyone loves? People are very diehard fans of that game. Once again, too much rambling. Let me finish up the video here. Anime Last Stand has unequivocally, undoubtedly, in absolutes, proved me wrong. I thought this game would not survive a Anime Adventures release. I was wrong. I thought this game would get killed by Anime Vanguards. I was wrong. I thought this game would never improve. I was so wrong. And I'm making this video because it's important to acknowledge when you have lapses in judgment, right? And I'm not going to sit here and tell you that it's the same shitty game that I complained about 5 months ago. It is good. It is genuinely, in terms of quality, besides Anime Vanguards, I'd say this is the second best tower defense game in terms of quality, because the UI looks very smooth, very satisfying, very professional and nice. The units look a lot better than they used to, right? Like, lots of improvements around the board. But I think that's it from me. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about Anime Last Stand. Are you still playing it? Did you quit? Are you playing anything besides Anime Vanguards in terms of tower defense games? Well, I guess Anime Adventures is still there, right? I completely left out Anime Adventures, but I don't know. I want to make a separate video talking about the future of that game, because although the quality of that game is there, it's definitely good. I think the remodels are slowly but surely going to make that game... Well, you know what? I want to milk that for another video, so let's not spill the beans just yet, you know. Let's keep the cat in the bag for now. But definitely want to make a video discussing the future of good old Anime Adventures. For now, that's it from me. If you made it till the end, thank you for watching. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Stay tuned for more content, and we will catch you in the next one.